The drive-by entertainment media told you, through their journalistic expertise, that Warner Brothers was likely on the edge of collapse, going to file bankruptcy any moment. They pulled out some crazy algorithm or some crazy calculation from San Francisco and made the claim, made it look official. Of course, none of that happened, absolutely none. They got the clicks they wanted. That was what they were intending to do. And, well, now they want you to memory hole that and never remember it. We, on the other hand, well, we do remember it. And now we're seeing Tom Cruise signing with Warner Brothers, a win for David Zaslav, and a strike yet again against the drive-bys. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Pro Channel. A joy as always to have you here, an attitude of gratitude we share every time you share your time with us. Thank you so much for joining, and I would suppose that the folks over at Warner Brothers are thanking Tom Cruise for joining them. And this in spite of the fact that the news outlets out there were running stories about Warner Brothers going bankrupt. We covered it. We laughed at them. We mocked them. And now we're still doing the same because, well, they have moved on. And they'll never want you to remember that they were declaring, Warner Brothers is dead. Warner Brothers is dead. Tom Cruise didn't think so. Tom Cruise is joining Warner Brothers now. Is it exclusive? A little murky. But Tom Cruise is going to be working with Warner Brothers significantly. How does a bankrupt company hire the hottest guy in Hollywood right now? I don't know. Could it be that journalists just don't know what they're talking about? Could it be that they're just out there trying to get those clicks? Clickety, click, click, click. We believe in getting the clicks too. We believe in getting the views. We do it through truthfulness if at all possible. And if it's not possible, we don't do it. All right, folks, let's get into the discussion right now.
Breaking. Tom Cruise leaves Paramount, joins Warner Brothers Discovery.
And indeed, that is the case. Let's read the article. And then, Andre, I'd like to get your take on this. This is by Anthony D'Alessandro. Breaking, 10 a.m., but that I believe is Pacific time, which means that happened during the show, as has been happening today for some reason. The magic of January 9th. Tom Cruise returns to Warner Brothers, forms new strategic movie partnership. Here's the article. Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav, who, by the way, 2 months ago, the drive-bys were telling you this was a company that was on the brink of bankruptcy. They were going down. They were out. Cast them away. There's no chance for them to be redeemed. And, oh, by the way, Disney's just fine. Well, it turns out the drive-bys don't know what they're talking about. But David Zaslav and the Motion Picture Group's co-chairs and CEOs, Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdi, have hammered out a new strategic partnership deal with Tom Cruise that takes effect this year, rescuing them from the brink of bankruptcy. The $13 billion grossing star and producer will develop and produce original and franchise theatrical titles, which he'll star in. Cruise and his production company will have an office on the Burbank, California lot. The last time Cruise starred in a Warner Brothers movie was the 2014 sci-fi action title Edge of Tomorrow, making only $370.5 million, a box office failure, but, in my opinion, one of his best movies of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Nowhere close to Rain Man, but still very, very good.
Oh, which was man, is that movie terribly titled?
Yes.
And which title would you pick?
Exactly.
I've watched that movie about 8 times, which is weird because it's like a Groundhog Day movie. So have I really watched it 8 times?
Or was it just on loop? Which was one of 8 titles he made with him, including Rock of Ages, The Last Samurai, Magnolia, Eyes Wide Shut, Interview with the Vampire, Risky Business, and The Outsiders. Note, this isn't an exclusive deal, as Cruise will continue to work with Paramount, where he's shooting Mission Impossible 8. Well, he's not going to suddenly stop that. And Universal, where he's making the $200 million shot in space movie directed by Doug Liman. Now, it says this is non-exclusive, but what's listed here are deals that have already been done. So I don't know. Overall, Cruise doesn't have exclusive deals at any studio. No projects at this point in time are in the works or greenlit, as it's still early. All of this said, the media was telling us just not very long ago, and folks, go out there and search this, Warner Brothers bankrupt, okay?
Yeah.
Go look that up. You'll find hundreds of articles written by the Access Media. They were all carrying the water of the idea that Warner Brothers was done and David Zaslav was out. Now they're partnering with Tom Cruise, who, by the way, over the past 5 years has perhaps been one of the biggest celebrities in the world in terms of Hollywood power of pulling people into the box office. Look at Top Gun Maverick if you need to see an indication of that. Panel, thoughts on Tom Cruise returning to Warner Brothers?
Warner is not broke. They're nowhere near broke.
No,
this
they're
is
definitely
bullshit
not.
And fake news that have been peddled. They have a very big cash cow.
But we're the liars, Andre. We're the ones who make stuff up. The YouTubers, we don't know what we're talking about. That's what we're supposed to do.
But anyway, since we're making stuff up, I'll make up some stuff right here and now. Zaslav has made moves that actually has filled up the coffers pretty nicely. And of course, they have significant debt. But there's the thing: they have enough cash on hand that they're able to pay off the payments whenever they're due. That means they're fine. And if such a day were to come where they weren't, they have a big daddy to help bail them out called AT&T, which owns like 10-15% or something of Warner Brothers Discovery still. So there's no reason to worry about on their behalf at all. Zaslav is going to do just fine. The bigger thing here, the one that really doesn't have money, is the sinking ship that Cruise just abandoned, namely Paramount. And him doing this now makes me real curious what's going on with that whole Paramount merger situation.
Exactly.
This tells me that maybe Warner won't be the ones picking up Paramount. Maybe Skydance and David Ellison gave Shari Redstone an offer that she couldn't refuse or something. I don't know, but whatever it is, Tom Cruise decided that he's better off with David Zaslav. That's what is happening here. So this is a win for all parties.
Yes.
Yes. Tom Cruise, he is now going to someone that has more resources, more marketing muscle, so he can continue doing what he does. And even though Mission Impossible Part 7 came out at the wrong time, I believe that's what killed that. Tom has frequently made the point that it was Sound of Freedom was the movie that really torpedoed Mission Impossible, because it appealed to the exact same audience. It had novelty and yeah, it just came at the wrong time. But that doesn't mean that Cruise, the last action hero, still doesn't have a ton of hits still in him. So this is great news for David Zaslav, great news for Cruise, great news all around. Not so good news necessarily for Paramount, depending on what's going on with the merger situation here. So that's the thing that I'm actually more intrigued about learning more about here. So that's basically my take on that.
Hey, without looking it up, anybody, do you know how old Tom Cruise is?
He's approaching
110.
Well, he may feel that way someday after some of those stunts. He's 61.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So, considering all of his movies now are physical, I'm not saying he's not a great actor, too. I really think he has become one. The obvious question is, how many more will he do? And the answer is, until he kills himself doing one, which he seems hell-bent on doing sometimes.
Just look at Stallone.
Yeah.
Look at Jackie Chan. Look at Clint Eastwood. Tom Cruise, he ain't stopping. He's not retiring.
Oh no, I agree. But here's what all of those guys have in common. What they had in common with John Wayne, what they had in common with all the great, they, as I put it, they got the joke about themselves and they went with it rather than fighting it. Nobody here is, Sullivan's Travels, where the great comedy director thinks he should be doing something serious. Tom Cruise isn't making this deal to go do drawing room think pieces. He's doing it to do what he does, and that's what the audience wants, and that's why they bought him, and that's why it'll be successful.
That's what's amazing about him. I don't know if Magnolia was the specific film to change my opinion of Tom Cruise, but he does some really good work in that film from an acting standpoint. And then now he keeps showing up, and he's grateful to the fans, which is of course the thing that has been missing from so many other production promotions that have gone on. I don't know why Disney doesn't connect the dots here between Tom Cruise being gracious to the audience and him pulling in huge dollar amounts. Obviously the last Mission Impossible movie didn't do as well as it could have, but I think that we're all willing to give him a whiff on that one, and then we'll move along.
And it was still a great movie, and the next one will promote it
aftermarket. They put all the major scenes into the trailer. You didn't need to see the movie.
Well, there was that.
I think his greatest performance was in Tropic Thunder.
Oh, my. And that is when he showed up, and he did a very prescient impression of someone who you could not mock. I don't know anything about this. Oh, I do need to throw this. I'm getting a message from a Gandalf over the hill, over on the what's it, the east. He says, remind Andre that Tom Cruise also had a bit of a legal tiff with Paramount over their box office streaming thing and film budget. That's from Culture Casino.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of yet another fantastic video. We rated a 9 out of 10, maybe a 10 out of 10. Maybe you rated 11 out of 10. I don't know what you rated, but, well, it's so simple. If you like it, click the like button. You don't have to figure out as an 8, 9, 10. You just click like, and we sure would appreciate that. Share, subscribe. When you click it, you stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell, and drop a comment down below if you feel so inclined. We'd love to have you be a part of this great community, so join the dialogue. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.